On the surface, it seems like FIFA Ultimate Team is the exact same game every single year, but EA does make some very slight changes. And to help you out, I've listed 50 tips that will help you dominate within FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. These will range from very basic to starting to become a bit more advanced. So firstly, don't use your initial starter team. It doesn't take players long to get comfortable with the gameplay mechanics, build up their coins, and buy into some amazing players. Using your starter team will just put you at a disadvantage. Make sure that you are spending time to look at your objectives. It's not the number one way in which players like to progress through FUT, but it's a very good way. You can get coins as well as packs. Make sure that you're playing all game modes rather than just sticking to one. It's likely because you've selected this video that you're not the best player, you're not getting the very best rewards in the elite divisions or going 20-0 within FUT Champions finals. So it's better for you not to spend all your time trying to achieve those goals. It's better to spread out and look at other game modes so that you can get multiple rewards every single week. Make sure that you're using your coins to trade rather than buying into new players for your team. I see beginners all the time get into Ultimate Team, they play squad battles, get about 500 coins, and immediately use those coins to buy into their first common gold player. It's not worth it. Use those 500 coins to trade and then go into another squad battles match. By the time that you finish, you'll get an additional 500 coins from squad battles, plus on top of that, you'll hopefully get extra coins from the trades that have sold. Don't worry about losing, you'll still be rewarded. With the likes of FUT Champions, even if you lose a game, you're still gifted a point. With Division Rivals, if you lose a game, it doesn't matter, because there's checkpoints preventing you from going further backwards. And even then, as long as you keep on playing the games, you're still progressing your seasonal milestone rewards. With that said though, if you do lose a game, make sure that you do take the time to figure out why, break down your gameplay. This becomes very easy if you do have software that allows you to record your games. That way you can see the mistakes that you've made after the game has finished. Learn to trade. Trading is by far the easiest way in which you can build up your coin balance, and for you to do this, you don't need to learn anything complicated. There are some very basic trading methods which will far outperform any game mode that you play through. Once you learn a couple trading methods, make sure that you're using them in between matches. That way you'll get coins from the trades that you're making, plus on top of that you'll get coins from the matches that you're playing. Only finish SBCs for the rewards that you'll actually use. So many people go into SBCs and complete a challenge for a player that they're never ever going to use. They don't fit within their team. And after a couple weeks, there'll be a better version of that card. So don't waste your coins here, because you could be saving yourself hundreds, potentially even millions of coins. Change your settings to have the very best possible advantage. There is already a video here on this channel which will go through the best settings within FIFA 23. So if you do want to see that, there is a link in the description. Don't be embarrassed to turn on the FIFA trainer if it's needed. This is how I learned to get a bit better at FIFA. I've been playing FIFA since FIFA 2005, but I was always mediocre. It wasn't until the FIFA trainer came in and I noticed that I could turn it on to improve my passing as well as my shooting. I would then select the indicators that I want to focus on, because everything else is a complete mess, and I focused on it, making sure that I'm aiming the analog in the right direction for the players that I want to pass to. Change your camera settings to best suit your playstyle. For me personally, I like seeing as much of the pitch as possible, so I make sure that it's zoomed out at a good angle so that I can see from one side to the other. Take your time with gameplay. This year, it'll benefit you by taking things slow, making an extra pass if it's needed. It's all about finding space, making sure that your opponent gets nowhere near. This will also result in a lot of players getting frustrated and making many mistakes. If there's an opportunity, take the attempt with a finesse shot outside the box. Seems like goalkeepers could save everything inside the box, but the second that you take a finesse shot outside, they just struggle. This will definitely help with the next part, where you can actually find players with a finesse shot trait or even a long shot trait, giving you a slightly higher chance of you being able to score. If you're shooting inside the box, make sure that you're aiming for the corners. This could be low power for the bottom corners, or you could put a bit more on it, about 2, maybe 3 bars, for you to get into the top corners. Whatever you do, don't waste your time with the power shot. It was big at the beginning of the year, but most people don't use it within online. There isn't much of a greater chance of you being able to score with a power shot than you just taking a normal long shot. The difference is that you now need to wait an extra second for your player to charge up, giving your opponent enough time to jump in. Look out for OP goalkeepers. OP goalkeepers don't just come down to the rating that they have. In a lot of cases, it's not the highest rated goalkeeper within the game. You may be able to find someone which is around 83, maybe even 87 rated, and they end up being the best. You'll know they're OP because most of your opponents that you come up against will probably be using them. Experiment with different formations. There isn't just one formation which is better than every other formation. Most formations are pretty good, and if you can blend them into your custom tactics, you'll find that they're better in different situations. On top of this, try out different players in different positions. This year with the changing chemistry, you can just go and play a player wherever. Now admittedly, if you can get chemistry with these players, they are going to perform even better. That still doesn't mean they're bad, especially if you're already dealing with high rated and good overpowered players. Experiment with your custom tactics. Figure out your playstyle and make slight adjustments every single time. Eventually, you'll be able to perfect this to best suit your playstyle and you'll get a lot more out of Ultimate Team. Try to learn one skill move at a time. Not every skill move is beneficial or overpowered within the game, but if you're first getting into Ultimate Team, learn how to do a ball roll. It's very basic. Then learn how to do a fake shot. Then move on to a chop. Whatever it is, just slowly progress over time and you'll get used to the directions within foot to go and use these skill moves. And gradually you'll build up to more advanced skill moves without trying to learn every single one at once. Never use your coins for packs. This is a major mistake. There has never been a person in the history of foot which has been able to profit after spending millions of coins using them on packs, so don't do it. When you are opening packs, make sure that you do check the price of each player. Sometimes there'll be events going on which will force certain players to increase in price even though they're not good players. Make sure that you are using the bronze pack method. It is the easiest method within the game and all you need to do is open bronze packs. They cost 750 coins, but it's likely that you will get a bronze player that pays for the pack itself. And with the other players, you can send them over to your club. Make sure that you claim your daily preview pack. This is only a 7.5k pack, but there are times where you can get something good. It all comes down to chance, being in the right place at the right time. And the cool thing with this is once you preview it, you don't need to buy it. You can look to see the prices of each players, and if they do sell for more than the pack is worth, even if it is for just 100 coins, it's worth buying into. This is profit. If you buy into FIFA points, make sure that you spend them on foot draft instead of packs. Your money is going to be going a lot further because you can actually enter into this and get a reward which is valued a lot more than your initial investment, which can't happen if you just open the packs by themselves in the store. Make sure that you buy into the correct version of a card. We're getting to the point in Ultimate Team where players have multiple versions of their card, whether it be multiple Team of the Weeks, or maybe they've just had a recent transfer and they're going to get a rare gold change of their team as well as league. Just make sure that you're buying into the right version. Take your time to go and complete the advanced SBCs. This is the hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, and league and nation hybrids. This year, there's a slight difference in that they are untradeable, but going through them, you'll still be able to get good players out of them. And if they are untradeable, well, you can use those players for your team, or you can use them into SBCs. But either way, they're worth going through. Likewise, it's also worth going to complete your marquee matchups. Marquee matchups are released every single week and they're incredibly easy to go through. They're boring, but you'll be able to profit from them. Take regular breaks from FIFA. This is more if you're going to be just sitting there and playing gameplay non-stop. Gameplay is frustrating, it's inconsistent, and you having a break will help you mentally, but also this may just be a placebo, but after about 5 games, I like to close down FIFA and then open it up again, and it seems gameplay is smoother. Make sure that you're investing your coins. Yes, you can be playing matches, yes, you can be trading in between, but a really good way is to buy into players which just gradually increase over the next couple of weeks or couple of months. That way you're constantly making coins no matter what you're doing. Make sure that you prepare for big challenges. This can be FUT Champions or even major events. Before you go into FUT Champions, it's worth figuring out exactly what team that you're going to be playing with. maybe even play some games in division rivals beforehand so you can get an idea of what players are performing well and what players are not. That way you can make some changes before the competition starts. Before you enter into FUT Champions, make sure that you're playing some warm-up games. This could be just on some squad battles or division rivals, may even be friendlies. You just want some warm-up games before going into FUT Champions. You should be playing online even if you're not a confident player. Even if this is your very first FIFA, you should probably try out division rivals. You can go on a massive losing streak and you're not going to be relegated. There are checkpoints within division rivals so that once you reach them, even if you lose a game, you can't go further back. If you want to be a very toxic player, you can customize your stadium to irritate your opponents. There are certain stadiums that people just don't like, whether that be because the shadow that goes across them, or maybe the pitch patterns that you're using, the lines on the pitch. It really doesn't matter. This isn't going to affect the top tier players, but it certainly affects those which just get frustrated extremely easy. It's just another thing on top. Buy players that fit the meta. You know if they fit the meta because other people within the community are talking about them. Use a database such as FUTWiz or FUTBin. This will help you find player prices, but also can help in other areas, whether that be finding players that do fit the meta or you're trying to complete different SBCs. If you're trying to make the most amount of coins, you can create multiple accounts. Now this isn't as effective as what it was in previous years. You used to be able to create multiple accounts, go through the advanced SBCs, profit from them, and then transfer the coins to restart again. Can't do that because they're untradeable, but what you can do is use the transfer list. With there being a lot more space, you're now not just limited to 100, you're limited to 100 per account. So how many accounts you have will depend on what your actual limit is. And if you're going through a bulk bidding method, well, let's just say that you can find multiple players on each account, get hundreds of them within your unassigned, send them over to the transfer list when there's space, list them, and constantly be bringing in coins, ready for you to slowly transfer coins over. And be careful when transferring your coins, you don't want to be sending over millions within just a couple of hours. It's better if you take this slow over a long period of time. Put players that you're not using into gold upgrade SBCs. They're just sitting in your club and you're not using them, you should try to upgrade them to get something that is more valuable. And this really just applies to any type of player within your club that you're not using, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a gold upgrade. They just need to be used for something that's going to play a bigger part within your club. Make sure that you take the time every now and then to clear out your club of consumables. Even if you're not opening packs, consumables will start to build up. This just comes from your weekly rewards from division rivals, FUT Champions, squad battles, and completing random objectives. The best thing for you to do is to clear them, send them over to your transfer list, try to sell them. If they don't sell, just quick sell them. This can add thousands, potentially even hundreds of thousands to your club depending how many you have. Silver pack rewards are good, and in some cases they can be better than your normal gold packs. When going into the likes of FUT Draft, of course you would like to win all four, but it's not necessarily a bad thing if you lose within the first round. You can get a silver pack and there's still a chance that you'll profit because not as many people open silver packs, and silver players, they tend to be rarer, giving them a higher valued average price. Make sure that you're buying into SBC fodder when it's cheap. You can find out if they're cheap by using a site such as FUTBin, which will give you a graph showing you the player's price throughout the year. Once it starts to get on that lower end, it's a smart idea just to buy into them and hold them into your club. When they're needed for an SBC and the demand is there, that player will shoot up in price. It's a smart idea to take the untradeable rewards from rivals than tradable. Loads of people go for tradable because they like the idea of being able to sell their players, but most of the time, you're probably not going to need to. If you do get a good player, we're talking about someone like Mbappe that is going to fit within your team, you're going to use them. So it doesn't matter if you have the option to sell them. Anyone else that doesn't fit within your team, chances are that they're probably at a rating where you're not trying to change up your whole team to go and use them, in which it was most likely going to be SBC fodder anyway. And anyone less than that, it really doesn't matter because they're going to be going for next to discard. So it's better for you to go for untradeable, which will give you twice as many packs, and if you do get someone good, you can use them within your team, and if you get someone which counts as SBC fodder, you're going to throw them into SBCs anyway. So it's better to go for untradeable. Make sure that you're playing as many matches as possible through playoffs or finals. When going through the FUT Champions finals, no matter where you are on Monday morning, once the competition ends, you will be gifted your reward. But it makes sense for you to play as many as possible, all 20 games, even if it means that for your final 5 games or whatever's remaining, that you just forfeit them, because the chances are it's going to get you to a higher rank and you'll instantly be able to claim your reward. Take the time to follow different content creators. Here we go through the basic tips of how to trade and how to get started with FUT. We're focused on beginners, but if you want some more advanced tips, there's pro players out there with YouTube channels where they share the latest way in which you can play Ultimate Team. Make sure that you follow them. And don't overcomplicate things. Sometimes the simplest way to play FIFA is the best way. As long as you're making the passes, don't try and do anything fancy with different types of skill moves, because most of the time they won't work. And as long as you're getting the basics done and even cutting back and playing somewhat sweaty, it's likely that you're probably going to win the majority of your games. Keep a lookout for different types of leagues. There are people within the community that will share upcoming content before EA have officially announced it. And by following these people, you can get a good idea of what's about to come and prepare by buying into certain types of players and making investments. And finally, make sure that you understand the FUT calendar. On top of there being leaks, there's also certain events that happen every single year, and EA's never going to change it. If you know what's around the corner, it's easier for you to prepare for it, because you know a market crash is going to happen, or you know a certain type of player is going to increase, and this will just put you in a better position financially. But there you go, there are 50 different tips on how you can dominate within FIFA 23 Ultimate Team. If you do have any questions about anything, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.